guys, Written Designs here. It has been a while. I'm so sorry. I have started class, been hanging out with a lot of friends, doing a lot of other things, but I'm back again with another awesome tutorial that has been, I think, something that I've been asked to do for an awful long time. And the tutorial is basically something that has to do with how, and I get this question all the time, is how do you make your backings? How do you make your stocks? How do you make your stuff? What do you do, and how do I do it? Well, most people will say, oh, Rated probably uses, Google or, free, royalty-free sites. And yes, I do that sometimes. But for, relatively, almost all designs that I do, I make my own backings. I start from scratch, and I come up with something like this. So basically, this is a stock that I've done. Of course, you guys can see it moving. It's just because I have a sphere filter on it and stuff. But this is basically the regular one, and it's cool. You can use it on many different things. I chose orange just because that's what I was working with. But basically, what I'm going to be teaching you guys today is how to use filters and things to make backings to your actual YouTube banners and even advertisements, stuff like that, to where it's going to make it pop out a little bit more instead of having to go on the internet and find different backings or using brushes and stuff like that. This is 10 times better, and it's a lot more, you can get a lot more deep down into it. And I'm just going to show you how to make this one, but for the for if you want to know how to make more, it's really just going into filters and screwing around. But I'm going to show you right now. So basically what you're going to want to do is I usually start out with a canvas around 1920 by 1080, and I use a dark gray, not so black, but I do want a dark gray. And the first thing I do is, and this can be done in any different area, as long as you have a source of lights. Imagine your brush being your light source. So if I started it from the top left, which is what I'll do, and just moved it down to about 25, that's basically where your source of light and color is going to be, and that's exactly where you're going to want it. After that, I usually go into my filter gallery and of course spatter, just to make sure that there are no gradient banding, because that bothers me. But after that, I usually change these two to black and white, our regular palettes to white and black, and I hit Command Alt and U, and I switch the color. Now I usually go about 50% saturation because I don't want it to look oversaturated, where if I go to 100, it's too much. I want the pure color, but I don't want the actual pure color. I want a little fade into it as well. So our hue, you can switch to whatever color you're really feeling like working with. I'm probably going to do something like, we use a cyan or something like that, and we're going to hit OK. Now once you have that, you're going to want to create a new layer, and the reason I have you switch your two color main colors to white and black is because this is where the filters. You don't need plugins, anybody. You do not need plugins, whoever's watching this. It's just straight filters. That is all you will need. So the first thing you want to do is most of the time when I start out with backings, and this is going to be a really, really big tip for you guys, is I use filter render clouds. And what clouds does is, is it just kind of makes a cloud type effect with black and white. If I switch this to like a red, it'll do black and red. It takes these two colors on the left and it just makes them into a cloud. If you hit Command I, of course, it'll inverse it and stuff. You can figure that out yourself. But, that's basically what I have. And you can keep doing it, and it's a random effector. And it'll come up different every single time. But that's what we're going to start out with. And then one of the cool things that I like to do is I use a pixelate effect. There's all these different types of pixelizations. There's, facets, or I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it. There's mosaic, there's crystallize. There's a lot of really nice ones. Pointilize is a really cool one. But right now we're going to just stick with mosaic. Now what mosaic is it's just kind of a, literally a pixel, like a square box. And I usually set my cell size up to about 25. I'm going to, just for the hell of it, I'm going to move it up to about 40, just because I think it'd be kind of cool. And after that, we're going to duplicate this. We're going to go to Filter, We're going to go to Stylize and Find Edges. Another really good tool. And you're going to hit Command-I and switch the blend mode to Color Dodge. And we're going to switch the Clouds layer to this regular. Or it's going to switch it to Overlay. And this is basically what you're going to get. And I'm sure you've seen these in my banners or in my work period. My advertising work, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a very high-tech, digital type stuff. Evan Eckert actually kind of inspired me to do something like this. He did a really cool thing on Oblivion, so I'll put that link in the description if you guys want to go do like an Oblivion type texture. That's kind of where I've got this this type of effect from, but I actually went in more in depth with it, and I really wanted to see the type of effect I could get out of it. So this is just halfway through. So as you guys get to this point, we are going to basically merge all of our layers. Now you're probably thinking, why are we merging all of our layers? Don't worry, or before you merge them actually, you can screw around with opacity and stuff like that. I usually do about 60 opacity and merge them. And the reason we merge them is because we're going to do effects to this whole thing. We're going to keep screwing around with it, and we're going to keep manipulating it until we get an effect that we like. Now for this effect, we're going to duplicate the layer. We are going to go to Stylize, or Filter, Stylize, and then Wind. And what Wind does is you can get these different effects. Now you can get a really nice little breeze that'll give you this effect, kind of like that. You can get a blast, which is almost like a digital looking thing, kind of cool. Or you can do what I like to do, and I like to get real crazy with it. And you can switch the direction, of course, and go into Stagger, which is a huge, pretty much like, different winds from different things. It's just kind of cool. But what I also like to do to this, and you can really leave it like this if you really want, but I like to duplicate that layer and go even further and go to Stylize, Find Edges, Command-I, Command-U, and move it down to a black and white, and just hit Color Dodge again, and it kind of just adds more, more eye candy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then we're going to merge this all down, and that kind of gives us our backing so far. Now, if you want to go even crazier and you want to keep going into maybe a brush stroke type feel to it, which is what I had, you go to Filter, Filter Gallery, of course duplicate the layer, and you can go into accented edges, and what this kind of does is this kind of gives you the same type of thing of like a color dodge effect, but you can really screw with the brightness, and you can really make this your own. Smoothness, like you can really smooth it out. You can make the edge width really big, you can make it really small, kind of just whatever you feel. And I usually do something like this, and then I move it down to about 50%, merge it again, duplicate, and we're going to go one more time. We're going to go Filter, and this is where I leave every anything in my in my head kind of just goes out, and I usually go into maybe extrude, pyramids 30, depth 30, just hit OK and see what happens, and that's kind of what the effect we get. I mean, I don't know, you can maybe take this color dodge and get that type of an effect, and you'll get a nice cool a flow of something, and you can just really screw with all of these types of things. And a lot of people don't believe me when I say, I'll spend an hour just trying to find, a really cool look to this. And it just kind of depends on the feeling, I guess, of what I'm going with. But yeah, I mean, you can get a million different types of effects out of all these different things. We can pixelate it again, go into Crystallize. Move it up to about 25%, color dodge, or overlay it, and then move it to about 25%, and that kind of gives a really cool effect. So this has been Rated Designs, guys. Of course, I would use this on a banner of some sort. You just put it in the back and start going crazy. But it's been rated. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is a really cool tutorial. I really hope that, you know, I can stay as active as I possibly can. You know, class is extremely tough. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was, and of course I got slapped in the face with that. But I'm on the road to being certified and stuff like that, so I need to work hard. But thank you guys again for 50,000. I mean, I can't. I'm almost at 53,000 already. That's just. I mean, that's unreal. And you know, for 60K, I will tell you guys, I will make sure that I do something absolutely huge. And I'm almost at 30K followers too. What should I do for that? Let me know. Thanks again, guys, and deuces.